already started. Let's go live. Let's see who will join us today. That would be nice to see if we have already fidelity going on when it comes to our live streams. All right. Usually there is this guy, Franco, who joins, always the first. But yeah. Oh, there is a monetization tip on TikTok. It says invite other creators to co-host for more attractive live content. Well, no thanks. All right, so today we are going to Leetcode a bit. We are going to talk a bit about React and yeah, we do this from time to time. And Leetcoding today will be just talking about middle to senior kind of problems, and it's kind of interesting for you to go with these stuff because honestly I might be shaky when it comes to sometimes to web development, forget stuff very fast, but now these stuff are my power, where my power reigns, kind of, where I can share with you a lot of stuff that are insightful. All right. Hey Khairuddin, how are you, mate? You are first. That's nice. Mihai's code asks, what are you building? Today we are not building anything. We are kind of like checking some kind of like functions that we might create from medium to senior level React developer interviews, or even like JS in particular. You can, anything that I will do today, you will do basically with Python easier, but why not to do it here with JavaScript? What is a linked list? That's what you're seeing there is actually a problem that we did not so long ago. And a linked list is just basically a list kind of that is linked by pointers. You can start looking at it from the right as or from the left. And what we were actually doing at that time is just swap every two adjacent nodes. So basically you see there 1, 2, 3, 4. We basically swap the 1, 2 and then move forward to swap the 3, 4. This is kind of thing that you also can have in an interview, and I think it's really interesting. So today we will start with something really simple. I will teach you some JS docs, kind of. Why I'm doing this? Because I feel like this is something that a lot of people, not senior people though, a lot of people from junior to middle will lack, and it might be that it's something interesting for you. So when I say like JS docs, I'm talking about these stuff. For example, if you are starting a function and you go like this, you see now that we are creating comments until you just close it with a slash, kind of. Let me try that again. So basically you do this, and then the moment you go down, it will just create some comments until you just write that again, and therefore you are on a JS doc description. I also want to kind of talk about this. Why? Because I feel like, yeah, if you are going to create something, you need also to know what you are like writing, and also what you are explaining to the interviewer. Vim Pirate actually said, had an interview today on linked list and circular linked list and a few other coding concepts. That's really amazing. What kind of developer are you? Can you share with us that? And please, for everybody who's here, like the stream and share it. That would be really helpful for me, actually. All right, the first thing that we are going to do today is something called debouncer. Debouncer is what I think is a medium function or a medium level problem. I will explain it in a bit, like bit by bit, and I'll try actually also to develop it. There is actually one thing that we'll talk about these JS docs that I'm doing now. You probably want to actually show the interviewer that you know how to kind of like explain your interview your interview question in more details, and explain your basically approach to solve the problem. The debounce function though, let's call it debounce function. The debounce function that we are going to create is kind of a function. So you can say here, hey, I know that my function is called fn, for example, and that is one of the params that I will debounce. So you can write like as a description, like function to debounce. Right, that is really cool thing to know, and for people actually to understand what you are trying to build. Also, you can say here, for example, value in milliseconds. You just showing that you know your params, and before you even start coding, you probably want to also talk about how you code and what are your inputs and outputs, and this is what we are doing right now. So here you just have one thing at the end, which is the returns part, or return, and this is also like that. So this is what we are trying to type now, is a JS doc kind of, and it also returns a function. So this one also you can make it like that, therefore it will be easy to understand. So this is what we are trying to build. You might actually give like an example, and this is actually very straightforward. You just write example like that and put input and output. So for example, you would say const log equal to here you will just do the debounce part, right? And yeah, and here you will return basically what that debouncer will do, and that debouncer should return something for sure, like it may console log something, for example, like hide there or something like that. And then it needs like a second thing, which is the bounce, kind of how many, after how many milliseconds should I actually do this, right? And that's it. I mean, how can you do this, or how can you add some more stuff to it? You can chain whatever, like outputs and stuff like that. You can chain like examples, more examples and stuff. So it's gonna be really good for you also to understand how to write this JSDoc part. Okay, so Vimpire said he's a full stack developer, mostly Go for backend. I do use React for frontend sometimes. That's really interesting. That's interesting. And how was the interview though? Next time, next time is the ID of the guy who asked, "Hi mate, how you doing?" I'm doing well actually. The only thing that I'm doing today is just talk about Leetcode. We're gonna have maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours top, and then I will leave. The only thing that I want to share with you probably is how to write some good functions for your Leetcode questions. And that's it. So share the live stream and let everybody know. Nice. But is Golang that good though? I'm not sure. I know that it's really powerful, but I'm not sure actually how it is, what it does, and all of that. It's kind of obscure for me, honestly. I know that I use Express for the backend part. That's what we are doing with the white noise app. But other than that, I don't use anything else, honestly. Yeah. So, yeah. What we are going to do here is just to write that debouncer, and we are going to write it in a way that is kind of awesome. And we need also to know how does debouncers work, right? So you can say this, you can come here and start actually working on your debouncer. Now we will finish with this JSDoc part. I just put it there just for you guys to know that that you can create it like that. But this is how you create a debouncer. You basically take, as I said, function, or let's call it callback, or let's call it CB, and then it takes also value or delay, right? And the good thing about this is that it will return a function, so it will return something here, right? Okay, so first thing that you need to do is just to specify a timer. You can specify it as null, you can specify it as an array, you can do whatever here. We are working not with TypeScript, so if it was TypeScript it will be Node.js timeout or something like that, right? So now what you're going to return is just like an open, or a function, like a full function that takes some arguments, and these arguments can be spreaded, so it can be as much arguments as you do, because our callback here is basically a callback that we don't know of, right? That's it. Let's start with that after answering some questions. Our president question here, his ID is President W. your Go tech for front-end developer. My Go tech for front-end is just understanding like certain aspects, like for example this keyword, like the JavaScript core, like understanding like the DOM elements and how they work, understanding how to debug, like also watching some front-end masters, maybe Scrimba, maybe Udemy courses. There's like really good courses and they are really amazing, and you can move from there and actually learn a lot. Okay, Hakim asking why not use Lodash. By the way, Hakim, we are just doing Leetcode. So as you see on top, we have this debounce function, and this is our input, our example. You can read it. I hope that it's actually, maybe I will get it a bit down. Okay, I will get it a bit down just for you guys. All right. So here we are returning actually a function, and this function should be actually a normal function that you will invoke later, and it might have any type of args, and I will explain to you why is that. So these args here are kind of like the callback arguments that you will pass. As you are passing that callback, I will show you exactly how that will happen. This function have a this keyword, right? Have a this keyword, which means now we are in constructor of this function, which means that if anything that you call later, you can pass this keyword to bind that function expression to any other callback that you call inside it. So here to bind later. So now what we are doing, we're just writing this in a simple way. We just kind of like clear the timeout each time, so we wanna know that our timer is cleared out, and honestly we are just gonna do the timer again equal to set timeout. In this case, this will be our callback function, and this will be our delay. All right, the callback function, and here I think you will get it. It's just this dot apply. So basically we are applying whatever comes from the CB function, and here we are passing probably the args again, or I'm not sure about this part, but I think it can be different. It can be that we don't apply directly like that. We can do CB dot apply, right? So we're getting whatever comes from this function or from the callback to be applied to whatever arguments that we have in its parameters. So yeah, it can be like that, and also it can be that that function gets now the args, right? And that's it. I suppose this is it, but the only thing here probably is that the timeout actually takes a full callback function as well. So you might want to do this like this basically, and that's it. That's how it will be there. Does anybody knows what is apply function and what does it actually do exactly? Yeah, so as you asked about that, you know that the callback function can have multiple arguments. So in our case here, you can say, hey, okay, let's take this one here. You can say, hey, I want my function, instead actually of returning hi there, it will return hi and whatever we have here. So in my case, it might be that we need to pass a parameter to see how that works. But yeah, this function needs to be kind of like defined in this case. So you can say, right, you can say A, B, for example, console log, and then A, B, right? But you need also to set these A, B to be something. Let's say test, and here equal to best, for example, right? Now I think you don't see the whole screen, but I will just make it simpler for you. This is what I did right now. You can take a look at it just to understand, and I will explain to you what are these args coming from. What plugin is that for the recommendation? Well, the plugins that I'm using, you mean? Or the plugin that I'm using for a recommendation when I type something, it's LuaSnip. Lua snip and something else, I'm not sure, but you can go to my GitHub or DM me. I will send you all my configuration with all the details about it. Why don't you use VS Code or JetBrains? I used to use VS Code a lot, but now I am getting rid of it because I feel like it's a lot. It became like that you need to add so many plugins and make things actually cumbersome. So sometimes with my tslint config, VS Code has a lot of problems with it. Sometimes flags things wrongly and stuff. So what I did is just I created my own IDE using NeoVim, and I honestly love it a lot. Yeah, so what we are doing in general is just lead coding right now, right? Okay, so I don't understand some of the questions. Probably they are like, okay, so here someone is doing a project and he's following the MVC, model view and component or controllers with services, controllers and model. That's really super nice. He has 2 maps, front end, and so he's learning full stack. That's good for you. I'm really happy for you. Try to do your best in there and try to kind of like reach out to better like ceiling when it comes to learning, because with learning more you will be able to actually proceed to become a really good developer. I'm a newbie at coding, but I know the basics already. Okay, so that's good. AB is trying to ask a question here. How do I make projects by myself? You know what I'm doing right now is just coming here to the live stream and trying to imagine something like for me, I'd be like, hey, can I create a debouncer? Can I create this? Can I create that? And it's as simple as that. You just find a small problem and you try to solve it, and that is how you program better. That's really it. Like, you don't really need more. Just find like a small project. Like, I have a friend of mine who told me she needs to make a shop, and I was like, okay, you know what, I will help you with that. And she needs to learn how to code, so I will help her while coding together, kind of, right? So yeah, that's it. Where do you find these args on the return? That's what is that this keyword and apply about. This keyword is actually the function args. So what you are saying, we're saying, hey, if the callback function has some argument, then please apply them to the function, if that makes sense, right? Yeah, so now I'm actually a bit skeptical about this. Let me try it first. So I will do this and then try. I think I'm here, cd or node challenge. Yeah, I think I didn't call that out, right? I didn't call the log, right? Should I call it? Yeah, so I have a problem here. It says console.log. Okay, I don't really have a problem. I'm just looking on top. Okay, sure. So let me just try that again. Why it's not actually appearing here? It should be first thing, right? Maybe because my debouncer doesn't work completely. Okay, what is failing here? The failing part is okay, let me just do it like this. I'll put the delay to be 0, but the problem is that I have some other problems here in this file. So I have console log max sub arrays or something like that. Let me find that. Max sub arrays. Yeah, I will try to comment out anything else that I'm not using right now. Yeah, so I'm trying also to find out where I'm logging all of this. So clear node. It should actually work, but because I probably am using node here, the debouncer won't show. But yeah, I'll try to explain to you without it, no problem. So what I'm doing is just this cb.apply. So this, think about this as a function, so like that, and I'll call here as a function, not cb, right? So the apply function means that if you have a constructor for a function, and this is our constructor, inside this, this keyword always refers to that function, to this function. So we know that this keyword will actually mean hey, apply anything that comes out inside this function to be inside this set timeout, and that's the callback itself. So then we are running the callback, but if the callback has some arguments, it might be that they be spreaded inside this function. So the callback actually has these arguments and they are spreaded here. So think about it as if the callback is here and it is passing its values to the function. That's it. I mean, I don't have any other way to explain it actually. It's as simple as that. I get confused to what to write though. It's AI, the Go, or I mean AI can help you speed up your process, but yeah, but you can move on and actually learn from AI by just asking questions and trying to repeat after it. Yeah. Why did you choose React? I mean, I find React is interesting actually, and I find it really good. So for me, React is the best when it comes to writing code and web like interfaces. Ah yes, something calming after having to interact with right wings humans. Yeah, so see, I think I have like this problem sometimes. I say like these people are actually here watching me to code, which is really funny because I feel like I'm just doing nothing really important. It's just me coding. For some reason it's interesting for some people, which is really cool. Yeah, so we finished up with that. I think if you know how set time might work, you will understand this part. But yeah, at this point, this is how you create a debouncer. And let's move maybe to something better and simpler, right? So I'll just paste something here, and this next one should be easier. Do you know, guys, what is a valid anagram problem? You probably know, right? So we will create this as a valid anagram, and this is also a medium problem, so it's not easy actually. And then here we will go and explain to you what you need to pass. So we have a string of s. Maybe you can put the string s like that, saying hey, this is how my params work, and maybe the next param is another string, right, which is t, for example, for text. Now you will just want to say that you want to return something. In this case, you are returning a boolean, right? And an example, you can just do this part, and I'm not sure. So you here say, for example, const or is anagram to anagram, and maybe you just write it a bit messed up, gram ana, for example, like that. So all the words that are, or the letters that are here, should be here, so this will return true. And let's say is anagram for carrot and pat, for example, are false. Yeah, and this is how you write kind of like your JS docs. Is everything understandable at this point? I mean, JS docs help you just prove that you're a senior, prove that you know what you're doing, right? So for now, we will write code inside this is anagram, and we will see how it goes, right? So if we are talking about is anagram, do you guys know what is the input, like what is the first rule to check in here? Okay, Haridin said an anagram algorithm is method used to determine whether two words or phrases are anagram for each other. True, that's correct. So basically here you are saying I know that these two words are not the same word, but they have the same letter. I have a lot to say about it, but I'm exhausted and consider this my meditation. That's really awesome. Well, but what happened today? You said that you went to interact a lot with right-winged humans. Is there something in particular? All right, so let's continue while we wait actually for your replies. Yeah, so is anagram, that is the function. It will, as we said, it will take that s and t, and it will return some boolean here. I would call it anagram, I don't know, result, maybe, whatever you want to call it, honestly. Is anagram seems like not the right word for it, but for now we will return true, right? And or let's return a string. In this case we say the words are anagram. The words are, let's say this, like, let's make it very funny, right? Whatever result we will do, based on it we will say are or are not, basically. If the result is true, then you paste nothing there, or maybe a space. If not, you say not, basically, something like that. And that is wrong. I should just do this like that. Yeah, so the words are not anagram. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, cool. Then I'll just maybe delete this part and leave that space and make another space here, just to make it fun. All right, so the first thing to ask about is actually if the s.length is different than t.length, though, then return false. And in this case, let's make a result. Let's make a let result, right? And this result will be like, hey, in this case result will be equal to false. I mean, this will throw an error because this result of false probably needs to be surrounded by that, just for the sake of it. And I'm doing this just for us to be actually on the clear and know what we're doing, right? All right, we have 30 viewers already, that fast. Oh, Susie makes a lot of political content on her other account. Nice, share with me your account. I need to see what is happening, because I am really the worst to actually look at politics or know about politics. The last time something happened in Munich, a devastating thing where someone just hit some people with his car or wherever. And by the way, I just didn't know. A friend of mine in Portugal texted me saying, hey man, I heard this. I was like, no, I didn't. Like, what are you talking about? And he knows about it before me. That's sad. But at this point, I really don't care. I really get Elon Musk when he said, give me money, I don't care, something like that. For me, it's that right now. Just give me money, give me power, or something to learn, and I really don't care about politics that much. All right, so these param names, that's a really good question. Joel or Goal, or I will call you Goal. So Goal asked here, what are these params and stuff? These params on top are something called GSDocs, and what we are doing here, we are actually doing this part where learning about how you can show that you understand your functions and how you get back to understanding your functions whenever you look back at the same file. So I always do this GSDocs part whenever I work with complicated stuff, and usually it's generated automatically via things like WebStorm generate them if you click Control* or something like that. On my new Vim setup, I don't have how to generate them automatically, but I can actually show you a lot of ways of doing them, and this is the best way that I see that I can share it with you guys and you can learn from it. What extension are you using? I'm using NeoVim as an IDE, by the way. Yeah, please share, because honestly I don't know what is happening, so I will just take a look from time to time. How many conditions will I be checking? I will be checking a lot of conditions at this point, but I was thinking actually to just make a counter. You can do const result equal s length equal t length. True. There, another guy in the chat is actually doing great with the solution here, but But in my case here, result means nothing, honestly. What we wanted with the result to do is just to store that false value or whatever, so we can so we can return it at the end. All right, and actually, just to make it funny enough, let's always make this to true from the beginning, and then it will return always that it's an anagram, but if not, it will change mid here, right? All right, let's do a counter for maybe our basically characters and stuff like that. So basically the characters, we will be moving from character to character and saving it and saying, hey, if this character exists, then that character will have its own count, right? And then we will do the same and try to minus it from that counter. And then what should we do in this case? If a character doesn't exist with the string already, with the second string, then we just return, right? Cool. By the way, I mean, we can do that, but let's do it with just 2 for-offs or something like that. I know that split functions, sorting, joining, all of these will be really a good thing to use, but in this case, you won't be showing off. Actually, you will be showing less algorithmic skills, kind of. So maybe we use something like for off, right? And we say car of s, because here we know that we return like let me go this to top so I can show you. We know here that we are actually returning each time a character, or iterating through characters. And we will do something funny though, which is the count of car. So if that character exists, basically equal that count of, or let's do it like this, count of car equals 0, otherwise +1, kind of like that. But this, I mean, you know what, let me do it like this, and then I will just surround this by that and then do +1. So here what we are saying basically to count the characters, and each character will count its iteration. So if it exists already, then we will count it. If not, then we won't. And then there we will have, if the word is anagram, we will have A2, G1, no, A3, G1, R1, M1. So kind of like returns each time how many characters we have. So for the funny other part though is the other for off for the second character, right? And now you guessed it, right? We're not gonna do the same, kind of. We're going actually to try to return to false, because I put a result there, so I want kind of like to move around that result and always set it to false if something is wrong, right? Yeah, it can be like that, true. I mean, that's also a good thing. Shannon, his solution is really correct. Okay, but we don't want to do that, because then we will sort them and it will never be O of n actually. All right, so in our case here we will just do this. If there is no car or count of car, character, if there is no count of that character, we'll just return false, or do this actually, not return, but result will be false, or equal to false. And then we will kind of delete that part. We will say count of car minus, because we always want to for that count to, whenever we find a letter that is equal to a letter that exists on the first string, we'll just take it off, right? that's it. I mean, now it looks good the way I did it, because you know why I did this way, because now I have result to equal true, and then I can test it. Actually, is anagram of should I console log this or should it return? Let's try. All right, I'll give it you know what, I will give it this too, and then I will just paste them here. All right, let's see what it returns. All right, so where is my return here? True, false. Where is that? Wait a second, I have a problem. I feel like I have something somewhere is not working. Okay, I will just comment this out and comment this out as well, just for the safety of it. I feel like the debouncer is messing my stuff. And by the way, we probably want to console log this, so surround by function. All right, and why it's like that? Ah, because it has this part. All right, then I forgot about this, but yeah, cool. Then let me paste it there, and then change the A part to cat and pat. Yeah, correct. So the words are anagram, are not anagram. Let me just even make it fun. The words, and then I will just put them like this into like a supposedly array. S and T. All right. Yeah. And here you go. This looks like more pretty. That's why I don't care about when or whatever. I know your employer probably does, but for me, yeah, for me, is it just there? And hash maps also works. Test cat and all right, that's actually a good thing. That would be false by default, by the way. You know why false by default? Because we actually check the length. You see, we check the length here, and we can do that. Let me do it for you. All right. All right, so cat will be double T, right? Actually that, yeah, are not anagram. They are the first 3 lines. Okay, bugs, I think all good, right? Check your message for this. What do you mean check your message? Ah, yeah, that's your other account. Okay, nice. That's cool. Let me check like the profile on my phone though, while I am waiting guys for your question, because I need you to ask questions about this. And I see already someone who already commented about, can you explain that? I can explain it. So what I'm doing here actually is very kind of simple. And you know what, let me do it like this. Let me check where am I right now in my live stream. I am on minute 38. Let me actually save this. 38. Where is it? How much is it? 38. All right, minute 30. I remember without even saving it. Or actually, there is something in the live studio. It says for kind of like start recording. Ah, here you go. I found it now. Yeah, or mobile, or highlight it, or highlight like a clip or something like that. All right, let me record the clip for this. All right, cool. It started just now. Now it started for some reason. Cool. I don't know even where it will save this, but this is cool. All right. So what I'm doing here for this is anagram function is that I wanted actually to do this. I can do this with splitting, joining, sorting, array, prototype functions. But what I wanted to show you guys in the comments is just how to write code and return later and understand what you're doing. So in my case, the valid endogram is not actually only a medium. It's also an easy kind of problem that you may get asked while you're doing actually your interview. So let's see here what I did. I did two params, which are, the first one is S, the second one is T, and then I wanted just to return a boolean. So this is wrong actually, because now I'm returning a string, and this string is just this one here, and I have an example for it. If I just go here and show you, this is kind of an example. I can copy it and I can actually take it up here and just paste it there, right? Or maybe like that is better. So now is anagram for two words. They should for sure be having the same length, and that length should be true or false. And that length actually depends on the true or false that you're going to return. And here is the solution for that. We are saying, hey, give me these two as parameters. Result will always be true because I will change it to false if it's wrong. I actually did compare the lengths the first thing because I want them, both of them, to be having the same length. So here actually we can do it different. We can say, for example, which is something very cool that one of the chat actually, one of you in the chat suggested, just to delete this and say, hey, return result equal that. And what will this actually do is just to compare all the three of them and see if they are all false. Then if the length is not equal and that also is not there, it will return false. But for some reason now it's saying that it's unreachable code. It shouldn't be actually. This should be like this, but for some reason it's not getting it. Maybe I need actually to v this all. Oops, I need to be in v that all and then surround by this, and therefore it will be reachable. I don't know, this is kind of messed up, but yeah, the return should work like that actually. Anyhow, but in our case we did it differently. We just compared the length and then moved on. The funny part here is that I created like a counter. This counter can be a hash map, can be a, I don't know, it can be also a set, I think, because no, cannot be a set, because a set accepts only unique values. In this case also I'm going to actually say this, hey, I want to do a for of, and this is O of 2n actually, because I'm doing this for of twice, but the first time I will actually register how many times I have certain characters. So if I don't have that character, I will set its value to 0, otherwise a +1, and same here, same thing. I can also do a reducer or a hash map here, same thing. And then, but the different thing, when I actually do the for of for the second like string, I'm going actually to like subtract each time I find the same character. So if I find the character C here, and then it doesn't go with P right away, then it will count C as 1, and then it will count P as 1. But then if it finds A and it finds it here, it says, yeah, I have probably met this before, I will just subtract it, because at the end you will only be left with the ones that are not equal to each other. And then that's it, you return here, and that's it. Then return if it's anagram or not, and based on the result, because the result here will be switched to false, so you know what you are actually pasting there. That's it. I mean, it's to the point. Hopefully that explains. Nice. So any other things that I need to talk about? Maybe interview questions that you guys are actually had before. Okay, so Vlad is testing out our function here, saying, hey, can you try AAB and ABB? Actually, in our case, it will be false, because we will have A of 2 in the beginning and then A of 1. So how many counters? Yeah. Mike said, I will not hire you. Well, that's why I'm hired by other companies. It's fine. I'm failing. Yeah. Mike, some guy answered Mike saying nobody's going to work for you. No, let's not be actually very bad in the chat. the thing is that, yeah, I actually answered like that just because I thought it's fun. But overall, yeah, this can be actually be solved with sorting arrays and joining or wherever. That's nice, Mike. Mike has 13 people working for him. All right, you know what I do usually when someone writes a negative comment in the chat? I try to win them as much as possible. So what I say is that, hey, Mike, let's get you a shout out. We have 50 people watching, so share with us what you do. Also your maybe LinkedIn account. Let's make a review. If you have a GitHub as well, share with us. And let's see. That's it. I mean, then we win a friend rather than make enemies. All right. You should read the chat often. Yeah, I read the chat. Sorry, because I was actually recording a video via the live stream. Yeah, okay, but what Mike said by you only need to check 1/2 of the input, he means that you can do pointers from this side and from this side. But by the way, anagram doesn't mean that they all start with the, like, it can be that, for example, the word cat and tack are anagram, but they are two different side to it, so they are reversed. So you, when you sort, you can do that, but when you don't sort, cannot do that. And yeah, and also another option where it will fail. Wouldn't that fail? Okay, it wouldn't fail. Let's try. Here you go. But what did you say actually? Cat and CA@. Okay, so cat and here CATT, right? Like that. Okay, it wouldn't fail because yeah, are not anagram, because what I'm doing actually is very kind of easy to do, but also in complexity wise it wouldn't allow something like this. Why? Because the counter will start counting for how many A's do I have here and how many A's do I have here. If the A's that I have here are different from the A's that I have here, the number of them, then it will just be false, right? And I did it super simple actually. And I didn't want to use the prototypal functions like array functions and stuff like that. Cool. Bidar and Badr are anagrams. Yes, yes. One Neptune said, bro, you code more on TikTok than I do in my job. Actually, this is a challenge for myself as well. I need to do this for myself to learn, and also for me to set like a goal this year to stream every day and reach out to as many people as possible. I'm thinking actually to become a streamer at some point, so why not, right? All right, cool. Mike still telling actually that he would not hire anyone writing this algorithm. Well, I would love actually to bring someone like that to the live stream right now and put him on the spot and tell him to code, just to see their level. They might surprise us, also they might flop a lot. Bro left the chat, you see? Yeah, it is always like that. yeah, why be negative? I mean, yeah, the funny part here that a lot of people actually jumped midway when actually we finished with this, and we are trying just to kind of like explain the solution. All right, if you are actually very cool, look at the other ones. We have linked list that we worked on. We have this for sum function also that we worked on. It's not easy actually. This one is kind of like a hardcore one. We have isPolendrum, which we used in it like some array prototypal functions. Our read, what is this? Given an array of nums of n integers, return an array of all the unique quadruplets. So it means that if you are actually given it 1, 0, minus 1, 0, minus 2, 2, it will return to you all the possibilities that are equal to 0. So here we have 3 possibilities. It might be that minus 2 in the beginning and 2 on the end. and then 1 and minus 1, or 0 and 0, or 0 or 0 minus 1 and 1 here. So all the possibilities without basically repeating the same number. But actually it might be, yeah, with repeating the same number, which adds another layer of complexity, which means that if you pass 5 2s and say target is 8, it will return only an array of one array of 4 2s. This is also hard, and how I did this is kind of like I went to 2 pointers, this way and this way, and I created, think about it, that the pointers are at the 0 level and the final level of the array, or the length of the array, and then I took another minus 1 minus 1, so I took 4 that moves together like 2 by 2 like this. So that's why I'm actually here doing the sum of all of them together and seeing if that will work. It's a necessary step, but it helped me a lot actually. Yeah, and that's it. It made us actually move by left and right, and also by nums of I and nums of length of I minus 1. Yeah, when I show you this, nobody will talk in the chat. Mr. Blanc said, hey bro, what are your thoughts on Svelte? Is it worth it learning? Because majority still use React. Maybe majority professionally still use React, but Svelte is very powerful. You know, when I was actually very surprised by Svelte, when I saw that bind function that changed the on-change functionality in React, which was for me like a mind-blowing thing. So I started to follow it up. I saw how they handle effects and stuff like that, and I was really surprised. Esteban said, what's your theme? My theme is Tokyo Night. Hecklers are everywhere. That's true, that's true. Is this Python? No, this is JavaScript, by the way. Alright, best tech stack to learn for web dev. Probably do, if you are a JavaScript developer, do Next.js. Probably Go framework Next.js with Tailwind, with a bit of I don't know. Does Express comes directly with Next.js? I'm not sure actually, but I know Next.js has its own routes and its own API stuff, so I'm not sure does it use Express under the hood or not, but probably TRPC and Prisma installed for ORMs. And does Prisma also come in handy? Okay, Prisma I think comes with the T3 stack, right? Nice. Oh, okay. Kinan said that it comes with the Express under the hood. That's nice. Nice. Okay, so now let's see more of what we actually solved before. We did some search inserts here. We did some minimum steps. These are stuff that we are just thinking in the chat and doing them one by one. But now what we started with doing today is just to create like this GS docs on top of anything. So this is anagram part. I did this GS docs part of it, and I'm kind of proud of it because I want to show, because a lot of juniors in the chat, and I want to kind of like to show them how to do cool stuff. Alright, so now we will go and create something new. Let's see what we will create though. I will just prepare an empty GS docs for us where we will talk about our next problem. I don't have anything prepared, so I will pick anything from Leetcode. There is this cache thingies and stuff that I really don't like. Alright, do you guys know how to do flattening nested arrays and stuff like that? My favorite is solve fizzbuzz. Yeah, we did add that actually. Fizzbuzz, here you go. The funny part is that we did print all of that, and I asked chat to actually push something else. Like for example, fizzbuzz here is just to check if something is divisible by 5 and also divisible by 3 at the same time. Yeah, so if it's divisible by 3 and 5, no, if it's divisible by 5 only, you will do buzz. If it's divisible by 3 only, you will do fizz, or fizz buzz by 3 and 5. And I told them, what if it's not divisible by anything? And they told me return piz, which I don't know in some language is a bad word, I think. So this is the solution for that. I just did like a simple for loop for that. Anyway, let's do kind of like a function that we will call flatten multi-arrays. This is what you might find in an interview, someone asking it to you in the future, if you are just a junior or whatever. And some guy said here in the chat that he can use flat map, which is a really cool thing to use, but we will try to kind of like go for a reducer here, because a reducer function is very, very unique and kind of like very interesting when it comes to the use of it in JavaScript. It helps you with a lot of scenarios. So yeah, so the first param can be array of arrays. I don't know if that actually is a type. Actually, yeah, I will do it like this, or you know what, I'll do it like this, array of arrays. And that's basically nested arrays, right? The second thing, we don't have any other param, right? Their string wrong drc. What do you mean then? Yeah, we will do a recursive script, bdar asked. Yeah, it will be a recursive one. So we have only one, I think, param in this case. So our next thing will be to actually just flatten the array. So here we'll return something of type array, and it will be the flattened array. And we'll give an example for sure. Yeah, the example can be like flatten. This is the function that we will. Did we use the word flatten before? No, we didn't. All right, cool. I thought that I did this. So we call the function flatten. We give it run like a two nested arrays like this, nested of nested of nested arrays, and here 4 5, and then we'll go again for nested 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 1 or 6, right? This will be super nice to do, and then we'll do 7 again. What do you think of that? This will be our final boss function. All right, so this is what needs to be actually returned, and later I'll just surround it by a console log, by the way. Okay, I'll surround the whole thing by a function, and I will do console.log. Hopefully that works. Okay, so now we need to just use a reducer here. Does this work? I don't know why my LSP is not working correctly, so now I'm gonna return true, right? Just for the sake of it, to ask the chat, and this is gonna be an array, right? So anybody in the chat is following up or having any question about what we're doing? Okay, so I'm getting my associate in computer science, so I'm well in front end, but he doesn't want to code so much no more. I don't know, where is your argument coming from? Maybe you wrote another comments that I didn't see, but it would be good for you to share more insights about this, what you're writing. Too many layers is redundant, but you do you. Yeah, I mean, just to prove a point, right? To prove that it's working at the end, right? Or am I wrong? Is actually now we are going just to do one line, I think, right? Yeah, Bernath said if you don't want to code, then don't become a software dev. That's a good argument, actually, because honestly, if you want to become a software engineer, you need to know what you're doing, and also you need to know that there will be a big hustle for you coming up, and you don't want to really give up in the middle of the I don't know, of the path or whatever. Yeah. What career does it take him to get into without coding so much. I mean, you can start to finish with your career right now, with your degree, and then say to yourself maybe that you need to kind of move on the way where you become a PM, like Bidar said, be product manager or product engineer. At least you know when you sit down with people how much time it will take to build certain features, and believe me, you will be super powerful, because then they will know who you are, and that you know a little bit of code, so they will even respect you more, and they will know also that you will give like good estimations, good story points and stuff like that. All right, decide to build something and just start doing it. Yeah, correct. That's also a good thing, good advice. And watch tutorials, as the other guy said. All right, so what does this is the array.reducer reduce, takes accumulator and a current, and here we go. I actually worked on this a lot, and I know that it's messed up. All right, and also it takes like that first value of your or not first value, like first initial value of what you want to return at the end. So we are going to do this. If array is array, this is kind of function, a method that you can use for current. If it's an array of array, basically, then you just concatenate it in that, or you push it inside there without like the array itself. So you keep pushing the array, right? You can say accumulator.concat or accumulator.push, and you flatten that value again, right? So here I will just do concat, and you flatten whatever value is there. So the current dot, or wait a second, flatten of current. If not, if it's not an array anymore, you just count.push maybe, or we use concat, right? Let's concat again, and that's it. I mean, is it available for you on the screen, or it is not, right? Okay, let me just do this. I have a very good idea. That's why you use prettier, because prettier have this print width part, you see, and this print width will be, if I do 60, then it will be like that. Nice. Now you can see, don't tell me that you don't. Nice, cool. So that's it. I mean, if you want me to explain this as well, then I will explain it to you for sure. Our guy here said, I don't know what reduce does. Well, it's time for you to understand what reduce does. Stick to the chat, don't go anywhere. We will explain it to you. Just say yes if you are listening, so we know. And by the way, we are just 100 people away from having 8,000 people or followers. So that would be amazing if I see you doing that now and getting me to 8,000. So if you are new, please share, and you know that I will be here tomorrow as well. So yeah, tomorrow we will maybe go a little bit of Leetcoding and move forward to do something more, maybe. It is a recursive call, Mehdi asked. Yeah, it's a recursive call. It just calls the same function, right? Which is a good point here. And by the way, in JavaScript, if you call the same function, the whole thing will stop. Like it will stop here until you called it, and then you call it again, it will stop again. It will become like this: stop, recursive, and then finds another stop, recursive, but it will never continue. Like it will never continue here to add until it finds no reason for it to do that stop again. So it's a really powerful kind of recursive way. Yeah, and this flatten needs to be that function because the name was wrong. Yeah, sorry, Maddie, I actually was writing it wrong. Yeah. Isaiah have a bachelor computer science and master software dev, but still didn't get any jobs yet. I mean, your luck is bad, as a lot of people in the industry right now, they don't seem to find a job at all. In Munich, I was talking to my friend today who couldn't find a job as well, telling me that he has a friend who graduated 5 years ago and they barely found a job 2 years ago or something like that, so they waited for like 3 years. He also, like, his friends graduated from like 6 months ago and they're still looking, so they are hoping to not stay until 3 years to find a job. But what matters here is keep learning and keep kind of like hunting. Yeah, someone will say yes to you. Yeah. All right, let me just try that. If I clear this, does it work? Yeah, it does. So that's the array. This is the array there. It's flattened, all good. Right, all our other functions now will look like very fun. Yeah. Very cool. We worked on a isPalindrome function as well. Nice. We had a lot of things that we worked on for this project itself, and we are Leetcoding very good, actually. All right, do anybody need me to actually explain to you how reducer works? So let's say you want to like do this sum function, right, of the whole array. How can you do that? You just do this, and then you set up the initial value to 0, and you say, hey, I want my accumulator, which is the sum basically, and each value to be equal to accumulator plus value. So each run that array does. Okay, wait a second, did I actually forgot about something here? Yeah, I put const, which is wrong. Yeah, so in my case here, we are just console login, let's say all of this, and it will show 6, hopefully. So let me just console log. Yeah, it should show 6 somewhere. Where is it? Not there though. Yeah, here you go, 6. So what we're doing just basically is just running through the array and having an accumulator value. That accumulator will each run keep its value and does a computation, right? And that's it. This is how it works basically. Cool. Let me just do like example of how reducers work, or API reducer function work. So by the way, we have this in GitHub. And everything that we are doing, you will find it on my GitHub. So yeah, that will be good. Can you preview the website? We don't have any website, by the way. We are just doing Leetcode today. Bernard said that he scrolled from this and TikTok brought him back. I think I am starting to get famous. Well, that's good. I mean, yeah, I hope that you guys are actually understanding what I'm doing and learning from it. Alright, I'm trying to keep up with your comments, but you know what's blown my mind? You're doing the coding, but what's the process before coding? What do you mean by that? Maybe you can explain to me. So people invented coding, so coding needed something to code. Yeah, that's why you use framework and coding languages, because that's like a base that you install in your computer. So in my case, I have MVM and Node and npm, which are my base. Basically, where whatever I write as code right now in JavaScript will be transpiled by Node to some assembly code or whatever that my computer understands, and from there it just goes and be translated and came back with an answer, and that answer will be in my terminal. So it's as simple as that. It's not like something very kind of, I don't know, much complicated. It's just that if you start doing the complicated part, it will seem to you complicated for sure, but in our case here it's different. We are just working with the transpiled part, or the part to be transpiled. We are trying to Leetcode, honestly. We are not doing anything very much here. Yeah. So by the way, this is our function here, is what we did, which is a debouncer function, and we have it here running. So these are like Leetcode functions, and these Leetcode functions can come up actually in a job interview. How many years do you do this as a job? For now, around 9 years actually, which is too much. Honestly, too much. And I'm planning to do this even more. Oh, system out println. Is that C or C++? I actually forgot about it, how the syntax is. Yeah. It's C, I think. Oh, Java? What? Then I am wrong. I mean, 9 years is good, but for me it's too long, because I am just 30, so it's kind of third of my life. Yeah. System out println is Java, he said. All right. So we can code next time, like some JavaScripts. You know, it's been around 6 years that I didn't code in Java. It will be nice if I can go back now. It will be really cool. Like we do a stream where I go back and learn Java. Will be a mess, honestly, because everybody will keep laughing. How long would it take you to make a basic web shop? For me, a basic web shop, I don't know. It depends also. If you are trying to target SEO stuff, if you're going Next.js. If Next.js with a good template that you can provide, I might need a solid month to work on it and then move on. Yeah. Any hiring staffing companies in the USA? I don't know actually. I don't live there, so it's kind of obscure for me. Tim said that he is full backend dev and frontend is hell for him. Well, JavaScript is hell for some people, but for me it's like the cherry on top. Do you code 5M scripts? Actually, this is a very good question, because I did that part with a friend once. We did like a 5M GTA 5 server just for the fun, and it was 3 years ago. I bought it from someone and then I coded some parts for it, and it was really fun to play, but I was wasting so much time in it, so I decided not to do it anymore. Putting objects correct by pixel is hell. Yes, that's the design part of it. Yeah, that's correct. It is hell and it's bad, and kind of like it takes the sweetness of coding, and that's what I'm doing. I have a task now that I probably will stop streaming after 30 minutes to go finish, which is a chart, and this chart is just too much, man. Yeah. Nice. All right, full stack. I don't do full stack, but I do front end only, honestly. Why is flatten capitalized? Because we created it. We created the flatten function, and we created it from 0, and I just wanted to make it like that. Yeah, I don't know, I was thinking maybe there is like a saved function that is flatten in JavaScript, but I think not. Everybody is asking why flatten is on capital case. I mean, it's just a name for a function. Come on, guys. Don't complicate stuff. I'd use the most JavaScript. And what about you guys? Alright, you know what? Did we do a merge interval part or something like that? I'm not sure now what to code. There is some kind of like medium to senior functions we can get asked in interviews about, which is honestly interesting if we just do right now. Cosmic Current said that he came out from a 14-hour sprint. 14-hour. Wow. That's too much. So maybe he had a side business, that's why probably he just put a lot of time in it. Is this Python? No, it's not. It's JavaScript. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's why maybe you're asking why it's capitalized, because probably in Python it's not. What should I do? Do you know this problem called product except self? Like we fill in like an array with ones and stuff like that, and then do a for loop and try to kind of like hit a certain number. It's simple, but it's kind of weird also to put right now. Python is case sensitive. Really? I think so, but that doesn't mean that it's case sensitive or not. It means that it has some reserved words or reserved functions that you cannot rewrite, kind of. But cool though, that's nice. Alright, I'm looking for a problem that we can actually solve right now. It's really amazing how JavaScript became lately. You know, we solved like anagrams. We can do group anagrams. Do you know about that one? It just groups anagrams together. That sounds like a good thing that map can do. Yeah. But then we need to sort out everything then. Wow, that would be actually a good thing. And then we need to, yeah, let's maybe show you what I did before, because you guys just came and maybe it's different. Let me just go for here and I'll reverse what I did for prettier so we can just see everything correctly. Yeah, this was actually a great thing to do. Yeah, it was kind of like it looks for how many times you repeated certain words, and we wanted actually to use a map in it, and then we ended up using a reducer, kind of, which is really a good point. We can actually explain this one. All right, let me record this one. Maybe we put it also as a video later in the channel, right? Do you want to have that? Maybe you will be able to look at some stuff that are really interesting. Cool. By the way, I want in the chat right now for people to actually let me know what they want to see in the channel. Like, what do you want me to code? Because I code every day and I honestly don't have any idea what you guys want. And by the way, I am really everywhere. So you can find me also on even Instagram if you want. But I was about to say Twitch and Kick. Yeah, so on Twitch and Kick I am there, and also I'm trying to kind of like reach as many followers as possible, so I can be able to stream every day, and we will have like so much fun doing this kind of stuff. I'm also actually coding stuff from zero with you, so this is just Leetcoding now, and I will be actually doing some kind of like zero to hero problems, kind of, where we start with React and try to understand all its hooks or something like that. Hello, what's the best way to learn a language? That's actually a question that a lot of you guys ask, right? Let me record this. Let me once and for all tell you where to go and what to do regarding this. All right, let me just share my screen. So hopefully everybody is seeing my screen, right? Cool. So the thing is that there is this website called roadmap.sh that every day you ask about it, and every day I show it to you guys. So now I'm going to record this so I can share it later on, right? All right, cool. So the first thing that I wanted to say about people who ask in the chat, how can I start learning? Where do I start? Honestly, you can start from anywhere. YouTube is an option, but that will put you in a position where you are actually clueless about what you're going to learn. So if you want to learn Python, you probably didn't set a goal of what you want to be, because you can become a data scientist, a data engineer or whatever, right? Data AI engineer or whatever. So this point, it becomes like really redundant for you to actually go each time and look at the new video, and then you don't really know what you're trying to learn. So here's actually a good idea to do, is actually to go to this roadmap.sh website, and this website has all the path that you need. So here it has like a role-based roadmaps, and each roadmap has kind of like its own chart. So if you click for front end, which is something that I do, you will find some personal recommendation here, and these personal recommendations are the one in violet color, right? So it tells you here, for example, go and learn about HTTPS, go learn about hosting, you can learn a bit about DNS. But if it's actually a dotted line like this one, you probably can skip it for now and move forward. So for now, you can learn internet, then HTML, then CSS, and then go to JavaScript. These are certain stuff that you can learn. Forget about Ajax. Probably Fetch API and Ajax you can learn later, but learn the DOM. And if you click it, you will find all the free resources here, and maybe Scrimba for like premium resources. Scrimba won't cost you much, I suppose, but yeah, these are updated stuff that you can do. For example, you can skip this part or do, hey, I've done this, you can connect and do that part. All right. So yeah, this is roadmap.sh, and it has everything that you need. It has Vite, for example, to learn. Sometimes it gives you like multiple options, like here for frameworks. It gives you kind of like, hey, if you want learn React, as it's like a recommendation, but you can also check Angular and Vue and Svelte, right? In this case, it's different, right? It's different and up to you, and you can just follow this chart and know what you want to do. So if you're asking about where is this and where can I find this, it's just called roadmap.sh, and that's it. I'll share it in the chat as we are live streaming right now, and yeah, follow for more. Do you guys know where to look also for frameworks and stuff like that? Yeah, no problem. No problem. I mean, I'm here to help. Nice. Cool. So for everyone who's watching, we are trying to reach 8,000 followers. So if you can make that happen, that will be amazing. We are already so close, actually. We are already 60 people, and then we'll become, oh, 60 exactly. Nice. All right. So if you want to look for a framework, let me show you that as well. The website is called actually State of GS, something like that. Yeah, this is the website, and I will explain it to you in more detail. So everybody's watching, everybody's here. Yeah, okay, let me record this. So in terms for us actually to know which front-end framework to know or to be better at, or even like to follow up for the next 5 years or whatever, there is this website that I really like a lot. It's called the State of GS, and this is the 2024 kind of demographics of all the stuff that they asked some engineers, and they returned with their opinion about JavaScript and their opinion also about the frameworks that they use. So here you see that you can actually see what they are using the most right now, which is React. And if you don't like this chart, you can actually set them up by rank. And this is very funny enough, because I was following Angular for a lot of time and seeing how it's doing. And then we find Vue.js actually topping it up in the last 2 years actually. Yeah, so start in 2023. So now we have React as first one, second one Vue, third one Angular, and then comes Svelte. I think this is probably Preact, yeah, and Solid, and then Lit, Alpine, HTMX, and then Stencil, and then Quick. This is interesting. But in terms of awareness, Angular has like some awareness to it. People still like it, and people kind of like still always want to go back to it. The thing is with the React that it became cumbersome. You can do like to-do list like function or whatever, or an app, and it's really easy to do, but then it becomes cumbersome with state management, prop drilling, and prop hell, what we call, and use effect, use memo, use whatever, and it's a lot to remember, right? But you know, Svelte is the most, like in terms of proportionality here, is the most topped in interest. So people here, I might think that there is people using Vue and they want probably to use Svelte instead, because they think that it's really better. So it's up to the people to choose, but positivity wise, Svelte is first, Vue is second, and React is falling. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't go less than Angular, because Angular in terms of positivity, yeah, it jumped actually. It was 10 to 7. Yeah, hopefully with the latest updates that they did, they make it better. Yeah, you can find also other stuff here, and just go to State of GS and you will find everything as data, and some people here actually give their opinions. Nice, cool. And this is kind of like how many respondents that did this. It's amazing actually. Follow it up, maybe it help you out. Cool. Any more questions? I'll ask, where do you look for frameworks? I mean, I look online, I see on Reddit what people are thinking. Yeah, I will share the website in my chat, or maybe you can DM me and I will send it to you. I have no problem. Yeah, I will pin it right now. All right, let me actually explain to you now some stuff. All right. By the way, for everybody who's asking about my GitHub and the stuff that I'm sharing right now is here, right? White noise and stream base, right? And yeah, thank you everyone for the follow. That really encourages me. If you follow, we can reach out to 8,000 today. Maybe we can do it. Who knows? Let's see. Nice. All right, so yeah, I'll explain to you what I'm doing here. So anything that we do in the basically the code behind me is actually stored here in my GitHub. So you can find out that all the challenges that we did are here, right? So in terms for us to actually move on with this, it's you that can go there and actually make a PR. After this PR, I will actually read the challenges that you put there and I will do them, right? Arena said, been in this live for a couple of minutes. Cool content. Thank you a lot. I'm actually trying my best to kind of share with you knowledge and at the same time learn, because stuff like this one, for example, I would never do alone. But look at that, I did it because of you. So here we go. What is the best way to learn React? This is kind of interesting question, honestly. All right, I will kind of go and maybe do do another. All right, I will tell you about GS in general, right? And you might later on go and think about how to approach it your way or my way. Okay. So here, if this is kind of like a spectrum of time, let's say, right? And let's choose another color because this orange is just a bit poopy. All right, so we start with what is GS. So you'll ask yourself, hey, do I want to do JavaScript? What I showed you here, oops, 1 second. What I showed you there in terms of roadmap and stuff, this one here is kind of like the goal that you want to set. So let's start over. Let's think about it. Do you want to really become a web developer? Do you really want to learn JavaScript? Do you really want to put up like sometimes to learn CSS, HTML, and JavaScript and go like full stack, maybe later use an Express or whatever? Because how it goes like this. You know, hey, I want to be GS developer, maybe senior at some point. What is my goal? This goal is gonna be here. So basically you say, I want to be a web developer, but why? Basically, why do you want to be a web developer? Do you want to create apps? What kind of apps? If you say here, hey, I want to make video games, for example, then like this gonna be an oopsie for you because you are choosing probably the wrong language, right? So the roadmap here tells you, for example, that you need to learn about Git, about VCS hosting, about writing CSS, maybe learning Tailwind. And by the way, everything that is kind of like in violet color here is the recommended way to do it, right? So always kind of try to reverse engineer the whole thing. Say to yourself, hey, I am actually wanting to become a web developer to create apps for the web, right? And maybe in the way I will learn Next.js or maybe T3 stack or wherever to become more architecturally present, and scalability will be something present in my apps so I can provide SaaSes for people, maybe. And you create the next big thing, let's say Facebook or wherever. So in this spectrum, you have to choose at some point a framework, right? And this framework will help you actually go and deep dive in or deep, I don't know, into like into like what you want to actually achieve at the end. So so for example, if you say React, you need to put up with a lot of things. React is really simple in the beginning. You do this to-do list app here, and you'll be like, wow, I have a use effect, I have this, I have that. It's really simple. I just have a state. Whenever the state updates, then the whole component update. That's perfect. But then the moment you start to learn about use effect and how use callback works and how use memo works and how use reducer works, and then some guy comes to you and say, hey, I want you to learn like state management now, and you'd be like, what the hell is that? He tells you, yeah, I heard something called Zustand, I heard something called Redux, I heard something called, and it starts Stack, and this thing starts to fall upon your head and you don't know what you're doing at this point. So that's like, and let's not talk about prop hell and prop drilling and stuff like that, because all of these are things that you need to put up with to become a really good web developer, right? So React is great until it's just cumbersome, basically, until you meet the prop drilling hell and you start to re-render everything and everything starts to be not optimal at all, right? So that's why I told you, like, define your goal first. Define what you want to become. If you become a web developer, it's easy then to put up with all this kind of problems, right? And here you go. You say, okay, I can do this. And now JS comes with a roadmap. And this roadmap will be CSS, HTML in the beginning, maybe some DOM stuff, and maybe some events to learn a bit about how the JavaScript core works. Basically what we call the backpack, how code synchronously work, how you define a function here, you can use it here. And then if you use it, you have something in the memory for it. And that something in memory you can call multiple times with different pointers. And you start to kind of like think in code more than human thoughts, right? Yeah, I mean, all of this is just around the React kind of environment. But then if you go Angular, then that's something that I probably know nothing about, because Angular I honestly touched a bit, but I don't know the structure of it. I don't know how you can do, like, for example, folder structure or something like that for Angular. I don't know how Angular works with certain APIs, API functions like filter, whatever, for arrays or whatever. How do you actually render components? Because React in the hood, like when you say React, actually React is simple, like kind of like a lot of functions that are hidden under it. One of them is the create element like function that creates another element. Let's say this is a div that you then call it again, and this div has an h2 in it, and this h2 has a span. So it's create element of create element of create element of create element. And then here you pass the attributes, or what we call props, basically, right? So it's always like this. It has like that parent to child relationship, right? And this parent to child relationship is why probably people love React, because it always make you feel safe, because you know that if this is your component and you have a navbar somewhere here, and this navbar has a prop of hello, let's say it's just a text string, you know that hello is not present here, but it's only present in this area, right? Which make you like type safe. Like if you feel like, yeah, this, I know this remind me of scopes, right? Because I know that the scope of a function like this, if it contains another function that is smaller than it here, let's call this foo and this is function. So this foo will be only available here and won't be available outside, right? So that's why people love React. It kind of like comes with this kind of JavaScript core functionality already implemented in it. And therefore you know what you're doing, right? So be careful with whatever you choose, because then if you tell me right now, hey, I actually just need to make video games, then I would say to you, why you're here. Yeah. Anyhow, and React 19. Yeah, that's another whole topic actually. I hope that this, what I just said, is helpful for you, because that's the most important part when you learn stuff. Yeah. I see nobody commenting. Probably I bored all of you. Yeah, Giga Contra said that he's doing like tutorials from the React main website, and that is really the best approach that you do this, because honestly what I typed here is just me telling you, please go and learn from the best goals that you set for yourself. So here, as I showed you this roadmap, I'm not kidding when I said, hey, learn JavaScript, because honestly JavaScript is the only language that lets you do front end with JavaScript, and you can do Express in the backend and still JavaScript. So you are familiar with everything that you're writing. Yeah, the roadmap link is this one, roadmap.sh. Yeah. Some guy said, yeah, you might, I cannot read any name, I cannot see any name. So he or she said that I learned so much right here than my web dev class. That's amazing. Yeah, I did learn with this roadmap into particular actually, and I just was simple. I was like this, so I followed only the Violet stuff, as I said, and it's really good. But the funny part is that I have like all the accesses to all the kind of like classes online, like Udemy Business, like Scrimba as well, like Front-End Masters, and I don't really have time for this. I kind of don't have time to do all the courses at one time. So what I do is just learn via doing, right? Yeah, so that's why I showed you this one here. It's just me saying, hey, if you actually have an idea about what to code and what to lead code, please let me know, because you can put it here and you can solve it together. And therefore, by joining my live stream every day, you will be able actually to see me code stuff that you care about, right? Which is amazing. Yeah. I can actually give you some hints about what we are doing. You see this one? Yeah, the stream base we just updated. Let me see. Are we did we do any change here? Yeah, we did that flatten array part. Flatten array. Kind of like this. So let me explain to you what is a reducer, because a reducer also is really important. Why I'm using the mouse. Yeah. So yeah, a reducer, I read in the chat that some guy actually is not aware of how a reducer works, right? I like also people in the chat like saying, Jesus is coming soon, friend, repent. That's really nice. You can say anything in my chat. I won't spam or control anything, but it's just speech free. All right, so in JavaScript, this is JavaScript. I kind of know how to write, but not on the computer for sure. All right, let me record this. All right, JavaScript comes with a lot of things under the hood. Okay, one of them, for example, is the this keyword in JavaScript. The this keyword usually refers to the window object, because when we started using JavaScript, we used it for the web. Basically, when you open the console in your browser, you will see that if you call the this keyword, it will always return the window object, kind of, until you do a functional programming, or basically you do class components, or you do, let's say, like simple class. Let's say you do a class of person, right? And that person has like a name, right? The moment you open these brackets and that's the scope of that person, and you call the this keyword, the this keyword always here will refer to that person. And some guy told me once that if you call like you do const object, and this object is not object, let's say, let's call him Mark, right? And this Mark is equal to a new person, right? That person now, or Mark, whatever you write next to it, like let's say Mark dot speak, which is a method that you actually did inside the class, always, if there is a this keyword here, it will always refer to what is on the left to it, right? Which is kind of like the easiest way to understand how the this keyword works. Then JavaScript came up with something called the prototypal functions, and these are stuff, for example, when you say array, right? Array actually is a type in JavaScript, which is actually an object, right? And this object is basically what provides to you all the API functions, or all the prototypal function, and we will come to this proto word later, for you to actually use certain functions like sort, for example, right? When you sort an array, you are calling something called, let's say your array is like this, right? It has 1, 2, and 3. Let's make it a const. Let's say this is a const, and then this is called array equal. The moment you do array and you go to VS Code and like hit dot, it will come like with a long list of stuff, right? And one of them being sort, right? But you'll be like, I didn't define this sort. Where the hell it came from? And at this moment, you know that this is actually coming from array dot underscore underscore proto object. And this actually proto object is not an object, kind of, it's actually a constructor that contains some methods inside of it, that these methods are shared with the array big class, right? But array.prototype. So array.prototype, if you actually try to make it equal to array.proto that you initiated, it will say true, right? And that moment you know that you have these all prototype functions to use. And these all prototypal functions will be available for you to use in JavaScript, right? Therefore, one of them is called array.reduce. And in the next video, we'll talk about this. Yeah. So Is this, by the way, for the chat, is this kind of like understandable, right? I mean, yes, if you are following, then you will be really thankful. Yeah. All right. All right. So someone said reducers is actually something like with data. Well, close enough. Okay. Any more maybe people who knows reduce? Hey, Raptomi joined. Nice to meet you again. You are here for the second time, third time? Do you teach other coding languages as well? Sometimes I do if I'm good at that, but I am just good at JavaScript, unfortunately. All right, so we will talk now about the array.reduce function. Let me just show you how that works. So array.reduce, right? And then I'll just show you what it accepts. So this array.reduce, I'll zoom in a bit so for you to see. Yeah, I don't know where to put it. Let's put it here, right? The array.reduce functions takes two things, a callback and not a callback, but it can be a callback and an initial value. I called it EV, right? Or IV. Very initial value. Let me write it fully. Initial value initial. Okay. Anybody knows what is a reduce and what it does? This one has accumulator and current. All right, let me do this for you guys. All right, so the array.reduce, as you see behind me over there, we used it for the flatten array, kind of. And that flatten array function is going to actually do recursively run through an array of arrays and try each time that it actually finds something of type array, which means that it's not flattened already, to flatten it with the reducer being run each time. So how does it work in general? Actually, it's a prototype of function, which means that this reduce function is available for you whenever you need to use it. And the fun part of it is that its callback function has this accumulator and this current. And by default, this accumulator is actually equal to this initial value that is exactly after the comma. So if you do this to an array, let's say your array is 1, 2, and 3, and you put dot reduce, you will need actually to open this big parenthesis here and put 0 here, saying that my accumulator will be equal to 0 when I start running through the array. And this is a simple sum function, kind of, and where you will say each time I run through every current, or each time my element is in like of a new index, then my accumulator will be equal to whatever value that I had before it plus that current now. So it will be like this. The first time the accumulator will be equal to 1 or 0, let's say, and then it will add the current, which is basically equal to 1. The next time it will do this, it will be 1 for sure, and the next current will be 2, and then it will be equal to 3. And the last one here will be that it will be 3 for the accumulator, and the current will be as well 3, and then it will be equal to 6. Then therefore this reducer, if you put it into a constant of sum, right, will be returning 6, right? The fun part here though is that this doesn't for sure accept only accumulator and current. You can pass to it like some other stuff, like accumulator for sure first, current second, and then I believe index third, and then the array here as a fourth argument. And these are all the arguments that you can pass into your callback function. Hope this explains it. For sure you can do more with the reducer, but this is kind of like how you need to understand it first. And you can like train on it with just doing here, for example, maybe array like as kind of like an initial value, and you move forward from there. Try maybe object and see what you will return at the end, and see how it works, and how you can actually get used to it. That's it. Anybody has any other question? It's very funny that everybody's focused on what I'm saying. Nice. Cool. Or am I actually limiting you to kind of comment? But I think all good. I actually left the chat to be open to everyone, even for links. You can do that. Nice. All right. Arena asked here what I do and stuff like that. So I work for 2 companies. Like one of them is being Adobe, if you know it. It's the most known. That made Photoshop and made use effect and stuff like that. And what I do for them is just front-end development and stuff like that, because front-end is what I do, and I'm not actually working a lot on the back-end lately. So that's it. And if I work with back-end, I work just with Express, maybe Prisma for ORM and stuff like that. Maybe like yeah, like define like a small backend and start like to play with it and do Next.js apps or SASs that are small enough. But lately I started exploring this on the live stream and build an actually application with the chat. So here, that's why I mentioned this kind of stuff, is that if you go to my GitHub, you will find out the white noise app. This white noise app we're actually building now for more than a month, actually. Exactly a month. Exactly. Actually nearly a month, let me think. We started streaming on 21st of January and we are now 18th of February in Munich, Germany. Because now if you are following from the US, it should be yet 17th. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, it's really to the point. This, for example, if I go to my other develop branch, you will see here all the stuff that we did. For example, yesterday we added in the server part the Prisma. Oh man, I don't want to remember this. It was like too much hassle. And we did great, actually. We did some config for Passport TS, and I'm moving forward with this to make it work as cool as possible. I think I did a mistake. I'm glad that I don't have my M variable here. Nice. I'm glad for that. But anyway, it's kind of, I think I defined my git ignore correctly. Yeah, I defined it correctly in here. I think in here I told it actually to go through everything. That's nice. I'm happy with that. Nice. Cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know and I will answer it. That's a self project, yeah. All right, so I'll show you what is the app doing it exactly. So I've been actually looking through like white noises apps. I can run it. Why should I not do that? It's white noise, npm run dev. Yeah. Right, so it should be localhost that. Yeah. So for this application, we are doing kind of like a timer and a focus and kind of like a break timer, and it starts actually like this, and you can study with this app kind of. You have here the noises that are now with images of bears. We didn't finish it up yet, but if I just run one of the noises, it will feel like a coffee shop or something like that. And you can do forest leaves and stuff like that. So it's like too many noises. And also you can add your own noises. For example, this video from YouTube. And also you have some services, some other contact pages and stuff that I still didn't work out on them completely. By the way, we have this is how you sign in right now. It's kind of tricky. because it uses Firebase and we are deleting Firebase from the project, right? We are returning to GWT auth tokens and stuff like that, which is kind of tricky but fun, right? Anyhow, this project will be available for you once I finish it, and you actually built it with me, so I'm really glad for that. Yeah, for that part where we are actually, we did that every day, and the chat were like super annoying at some point, but they helped a lot. They helped with at least that readme part, right? It's a self project, yeah. Which language is that? That's kind of JavaScript, TypeScript, React. Yeah, JavaScript is the most used language in the job market because everyone needs to write front end with JavaScript. Yeah, we are building multiple projects. For now, the project that we are focusing on is the white noise one. And the next part, we're going maybe to create some socket IOs and stuff like that, and WebSockets maybe, to build like some chatting projects, like simple project like Discord or something like that, where we host our own community or something. So yeah, we are starting small, and whatever idea that the chat can come with and thinks of, I will do it. Because for now, if I share with you that project, that white noise project, this was the readme file for it. So add custom white noise, we did it. Preload white noises, we did it. Adjustable volume control, we did it. Minimal design, we did it. Try shiny, this one we did it and it didn't work actually, so I just ticked it for the fun because we tried it. Added 10 stack router, actually added also 10 stack query. Add model analysis, routing, search input, set passport GS. So all of these are actually things that we did. Still, we need delete Firebase, check MDN status coded, add a metronome, add Zashstand, add databases. We did a database Prisma actually. This one should be ticked. Yeah, add Zashstand twice actually. Yeah, small to-do app with Zashstand, that's correct, but then Zashstand needs to be added for everything. Change the UI. The UI will be the last thing that I care about. And this is all made by my chat. So the chat actually wrote this, and what they did exactly is just they went here and opened some issues, right? And they said, hey, I want to work on doing some CSS or wherever. They can assign to themselves and start working. So if that's something that interests you in the chat, just go for it. I have no problem. Hey Dido, no, I see you now in the chat. Cool stuff. Yeah, it is cool. I really enjoy it. Enjoy doing it. All right, we are nearly 2 hours. Actually, we still have only 3 minutes. Let's see how many followers do we have. I'm really glad that we are doing this, and we are very close to 8,000. So I will just leave when we do 8,000, and tomorrow we'll be continuing with the white noise app, right? Come on guys, just follow. If you are new here, just follow. Let's reach out to the 8,000 as soon as possible. I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff coming out of Germany. Mastodon, Codeberg. Maybe, that's cool. But I don't know what you mean here. I mean as products or as creators? If you have some time, could you tell about technical documentation? That's kind of cool. All right. So when it comes to actually technicality and technical stuff, I think that documentation in the company that I work on is like working with this basic stuff, is like first in, first out, or what you call FIFO approach, kind of. And the FIFO approach says if you are really good with what you're doing, so let's say I created a date picker, right? And this is something that happened in my life. So I created date picker, and this date picker is based on, let's say, chats or React date picker, right? And some of the styles. So you define here what you did exactly, and custom styles. Maybe in the styles itself I used style components, which is a really good library, right? And I used also some SCSS, let's say, right? These two are my inputs for that. And then the third thing, I created what is kind of like the options or the examples. And the examples that I have, for example, a date range picker, and then I have a date picker normally. So these are the two things that I created basically. At this point, I will say to myself, okay, then I will set up a documentation based on my packages and also my styles and also my examples. And I start, so now can I group this? Yes, I can group them because this part never changed, this part never changed, but this part changed. So I will have basically wallet 1 and wallet 2. And in the wallet 1 I talk about the date picker only, and this one I talk about the range picker. And I will actually say, hey, they all start with the same. So my first file will be talking about packages and styles, and that's it. I'm done with documentation for that. And then my second file, which is this, basically the second file that comes after packages and stuff like that, will be talking about the date, and the third one will be talking about the range part. And that's it. You kind of like think about it manually and kind of write it down, see what you need to share and what not. The documentation part that I have in my company is more about how to set up like Hyper-V stuff, how to set up your own WSL, cool, how to work with the UI in WSL, how to use certain terminals or certain products like AEM, which is one of the Adobe product, for example, Adobe Express Manager or something like that, and some other stuff, kind of like Tilium or Mixpanel or whatever you're using for data management or data tracking. For example, for me, I use OpenReplay. That's what I'm working with lately. So you just put how can you track this. So you go to OpenReplay documentation and you check how the object is. For example, you need an ID for every user, you need an email, and you need a tracking ID, right? And these three, you make them like mandatory, and you write in your documentation that you need them. And you also write how the structure of that object should be. And you give an example of how in React to do that, right? And therefore another developer who uses Angular on another microservice, let's say, will come and see this one here and try to mock it, kind of. Yeah, that's it. I don't have any other way to write documentation. It's just that I go with the flow, honestly, and I don't write anything that I don't know. I always ask. All right, can you teach me coding? That's what I'm trying to do actually here. All right, I just started web dev. Are we doing fractions and Excel? So we're on the right path or what? Yeah. No, we are just here doing web dev. Don't worry about that. So if we are about a team now, if we are working on a team, and this is the difference between when you work on a team and based. And let me just share my screen again. It's totally different. Totally different. So with a team, you probably has like a Kanban part, like backlog, doing, done, and trashed basically. And to move from here to the fourth step, you need to pass by contributors or to pass by people who are actually good enough to let you move on from step to another. So to move to step 2, probably you need another web developer to look at this. To move to step 3, which is done, you need your leader to kind of like look at this. To move to the trash part, probably you need kind of like, okay, he already completed this, so let's trash out that feature. Trash, I don't mean trashed like deleted, but just drop the whole branch. This is when you work on a team, so you expect to kind of like have someone to approve you each time or to disapprove you basically, right? When you're alone, you work with like this monolith approach, kind of. You try to make 3 branches and you make them parallel. So the first branch will be main. You don't touch it until you have like a simple dev that you finished here and then pushed there. And you will always have like stage on parallel, and you will have as many branches as possible. So each feature will have its own branch. You have B1, B2, and all of these are features basically. If you finish with B1, you push it to stage, you see how it works, you push it back here, you see how it works on the basically the VPS or whatever, on a maybe like an infra kind of way, and then you go here to main, and everybody will be able to see this. The fun part also here is that you are going to work on the DevOps part alone. So you buy your own VPS, you do your PM2 configuration, for example, GitHub Actions, right? Something like this, and maybe then install cert for certification and do all these steps alone, right? Which keeps you like very well noted and also very well wanted in the market, because you will now, if you do this, you will be the 10x engineer that you always wanted. What's your favorite language to code in? I just code with JavaScript, which is very fun, right? Cool. How many followers do we have? Okay, we still need 11 followers to actually reach out to 8,000. So let's do it, guys. Let's see. Amazing. Cool. Where else do we know about this? It's kind of, yeah, it depends, right? If you have any questions, please ask, but it always depends from place to another, right? All right, we have new followers. Cool. Some guy said you deserve the followers, mashallah. Thank you, man. Do you guys know where I'm from? I know that some of you doesn't know, but can you guess? I will be happy to guide you through to play this game. I'm from Python. That's nice. Italy, very close. Very close. Okay, let's say Italy 200 kilometers close, but via the sea, actually. Turkish being invention now. All right, cool. But I'm not Turkish, actually. That's super far from where I am from. But yeah, I live in Munich as well. Come on, I want everybody to guess where I'm from. It's very funny. This game is always I'm doing, and everybody is actually guessing wrong. Holland? No, I'm not from there. Syria? I think not really. Albanian, not really. Arena is from Berlin, nice. Germany, well, I live in Germany, but I'm not German. Pakistan, no, very far. Okay, it's in Africa, right? It's in Africa, try more. Egypt, not close. Far a bit. No, not Egypt. Morocco, a bit far. Very close now. Libya, very close, actually. Algeria, very close. Not Algeria, no. Not Algeria. Tunisia, yes. Got you. Yeah, Tunisia. Nice. France. Some guy said Al-Urdun. Well, Urdun is in Arabic, which means like Jordan. Yeah. How to say hi in Tunisian? Oh, we say marhaba, or we say hi, or salut, or we have like a problem in Tunisia. Like, is that we have a lot of crisis when it comes to our identity. I think we got held by every kind of known empire in the world, starting from Phoenicians up to the latest, the Turkish Empire. Tunisian actually is not a language, it's a dialect. So Arabic, we speak Arabic there, and Arabic is really good when it comes to speaking, because it makes you speak other languages easier. It's kind of compared to Chinese and Asian, some Asian languages, because they, like, your tongue touches basically every part of your mouth trying to speak Arabic. And usually our kids also take their time to speak because it's kind of a bit hard, right? So I don't live in, I live in Tunisia. I have my own place there for sure, but but I honestly don't go there unless I'm meeting my family, because now I'm based in Munich. Yeah. Yeah. Ahlan wa sahlan, some guy. Nice. IT engineer, 33 years. Is that literally your ID? Nice. بس ماخذه am laptop. Well, I do nothing. I'm just here like scraping some of the stuff. We were talking about use effects and React and stuff like that. But now we stopped talking about that. And now we're talking about where am I from. I really like the CD Miracle. But are you Tunisian as well? Because he said Tunsi. He was, I think, surprised because I don't maybe give the vibe that I'm from there. I don't know. Nice. Hello, Lolowitz is here. Nice. What you study? I don't study anymore. I'm working. So I work as a software engineer. Oh, Node Mailer works. I honestly not familiar with that, but do you want me to actually build something like that? I would do it maybe in the next live stream. We will add it to the to-do list. So let's think about stuff. Let's kind of like do like a simple to-do list, right? Of the things that we want to build. So here you said that you want to work on a node mailer, right? So basically I'm thinking like a package for node mailing and stuff like that. Nice. So another actually software engineer in Germany, and his family is from Tunisia. So he speaks Tunisian as well. Nice. I self-learned and I also have a degree, but my degree is more into mathematical modeling and stuff like that. Nice. Are you in, which part of Germany are you in? The Tunisian developer here or engineer? Because your ID is Curious IT Engineer. Ah, yeah, double E. I thought your age is in there. Nice. Cool. All right, how many are we now? We still need 7 people to reach 8,000. Ah, you are also in Munich. Nice. Cool. You mean 3GS? We probably need to actually do something like that. We'll probably do some 3GS part in the app. What else can we do? We can do whatever the chat wants actually, but let's specify them now so I can remember them tomorrow. Yeah. All right, we need still, is that lazy vim? Yeah, it is. We are doing lazy vim with a lot of let me actually push out this away and I'll show you my plugins. Do I need actually to install that? Okay, so lazy git has a problem. Let me sync. Now it's good. We had CMP buffer, path, Lewis snip, friendly snippets, LSP kind, and Vim auto pairs. These are kind of like all like GitHub repos actually. You find the links for them here, and you can set them up and use like certain keyboard hotkeys for them. Indentation, black line, this is actually a good one that helps. All of them are actually basic, so don't think that I am actually using like a very hardcore ones. I'm using just the basic plugins. But they are interesting, very interesting. Yeah. Cool. Tomorrow we'll be here at 10 p.m. So that will be it. Yeah. Do you feel camel case is important? I've been trying to get into the habit, but still bugs me out. Sudo ask. I mean, it's very important. You need to do it, but also don't bug yourself a lot about it, because honestly, It just comes out when you write code a lot. So keep writing code, keep building projects. Nice. By the way, Mr. Miracle, send me a DM where you live and stuff like that. Maybe we can meet up. That would be nice. I would like to meet some fellow Tunisian developers or software engineers in Munich. That would be nice. Also, I'll share with you my Instagram or my Discord. What time is it now in Germany? It's 1 a.m. Very good timing to go actually to sleep. Right? I have my wife behind me actually. I will follow you from now on. I'd hope to learn some good practice in React Web. That's good. Thank you a lot. That will be nice. And for everybody who actually interested in coding and stuff, please follow. We are actually trying to reach out to 8,000. Let's see how much left. Whoa, 2 people only left, so that's it. We're doing it right now. 1 person left? Only 1 person. Very funny, right? Okay, you're ready. Now we are 8,000 in a second, I think. I will actually tell you who followed and who is our 8,000 person. So now we have 7,999. That's a really cool number. 7,999 is actually the price of my PC. I have completed a month an integration course of OM, AWS, and WD. That's nice, but where did you do that? Where did you do it? Is it like alone or? Yeah. Sahiwo D is the 8K person. That's good. Yay, nice. We did it. Now we are at 8,001. Congrats. I mean, yeah, it feels like we are super close to the 10,000. So what I'm gonna do, I already recorded some of the stuff today, like for example, when I talked about React and when I talk about JavaScript, and I'll post them all on my channel or on my TikTok, hoping to get more views and stuff like that. So hopefully we reach out to 10,000 as soon as possible, and also we will try to kind of like, yeah, based on your shares, to reach out as many as possible and maybe make this by the end of the year a job. Hopefully, kind of, yeah. Okay, so Curious here did an online from an institute. What is the institute name, if you don't mind sharing? Lolo, it said he wants me to rate his React website. Can you share it? Yeah, I do use Redux on my project and I hate it so much. I would love if we did something better, but sadly we don't, right? Nice. What else? Yeah, you can share here in the chat. I will just share it with everybody and then basically go. We all hate Redux, man. Like, don't worry about it. Oh, okay, so the name of the institution is DCI. That's where he studied. Nice. And do you do web development there, or just you learn backend stuff? Interesting, actually. We all hate Redux, man. What is that? Are you trying to hack us here or what? That's your VPS, right? Ah, you are on your virtual machine. Alright, let me try. It's not secure, my friend, not secure, but it's fine. Oh, you are from Poland? Lolowitz? Yeah, it makes sense. So Lolowitz here made a website about Pomosh, which means help, I think, in your language. Let me share my screen. And also I will share the chat just to be able to, for everybody to see. He shared with me this IP address. Hopefully that's not yours. and yeah, he's actually making like this. Oh, I hate this, but why are you doing it like this? Like the button on top of the text. Like the readability here is really bad then, but I'm not judging, so this is your website and you are a programmist, Delphi, MS SQL, and this is also you. And he does some enterprise research and planning with CRMs. And they help people basically by setting up websites. Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, I like the stuff here, how it actually transition. This is a simple form. Are you doing React? Yes, he's doing React. You see the whole div. I'm selecting the div of root. I normally start at 10 p.m. CET, Central European time. Where are you from, Ricky? Maybe I can give you the same time at your place. Velo.js? What do you, vanilla you mean? Or yeah, don't worry about B2, man, or B1 for German. You will be fine. But yeah, this is a cool website. I will take a look at it and give you, if you are on my Discord, I will give you like a good kind of like explanation of what I see good and what I see not. Oh, now it stopped working. Cool. All right. Yeah, I am in Germany for 4 years now, nearly 5. And I have only A2 level. I don't care about it much, but in the future I will improve for sure. Do you use framer motions? No, actually. But I would like to learn this kind of stuff. I already told you guys, go to my GitHub and write on the to-do list what you want me to check, and I will do it. That's it. Cool. Framer motion. That's a really nice name. I'll check it now. It's a package that does animation for JavaScript and React. Cool. I will use this down 100%. Very cool actually. I like it. You just do a state and it does everything for you. Nice. Cool. Some guy said writing JavaScript is 2 or 3 times more deadly than chain smoking cigarettes. Did you know that? How many chain cigarettes we are talking here? So I know. When you are starting React to TypeScript, we already started that. We are going back to do that tomorrow. All right. So tomorrow we are going actually to talk more about React and TypeScript. All right, guys. Thank you a lot for actually being here and for reaching out the 8,000 subs. I'm actually really happy now with our progress and stuff like that. We did today some lead coding. Please join in to my channel tomorrow, and I will actually share with you some of the stuff regarding what we talked about today. And it will be really amazing if we just keep on learning and do this day by day. And for the people that are new here, I stream every day, literally every day. You will find me the same time. If you are from Germany, it's 10 p.m. And if you are from anywhere in the world, it's CET time, Central European time. So if you are in Poland, France, I think you will have the same time as me. Otherwise, yeah, anywhere in the world would be good to join as well. I think for the Americans, if you are, I don't know, in Texas or wherever, it will be around 3 p.m. your time. Cool. So yeah, I will leave now. So thanks a lot for watching and for keeping my company while I'm coding these Leetcode questions and stuff. And we will talk tomorrow, and probably we'll have more to do on React and TypeScript. I don't have YouTube channel, but you can find me out also on Kick and on Twitch. I'm still new there, but I'm live streaming there as well. Actually, I'll share with you very quickly. This is my Twitch, and now you can see my full screen here, by the way, right? And here as well on Kick, you can see my full screen. So on TikTok, you don't see it like that, right? But that's cool. So tomorrow we'll continue with the other application. So be here. And yeah, see you soon, guys. Bye bye, and Ciao ciao to everyone who followed, and thanks a lot. And we're done.